Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi. Today we're going to talk about the 12 Seiunchin, the Bubishi, the tools of the Bubishi, and the Kata Seiunchin. Stay tuned. Okay, so I've been going on about the Seiunchin Kata, and I've done filming on it. It's a private filming on Kyusho.com. That's the only place it's available because this information is so important and so dangerous to practice. And we all know that the people on YouTube, many people look at the videos and then they try to duplicate it without knowing the revivals or taking the precautionary measures of understanding the anatomy and the physiology and even backing it up with doctors and the medical ramifications to understand what they could potentially do to their partner, their training partner. Well, we take all that into account and we build slow. Now, this video I released about 2 years ago now, and it was a milestone in my career, I believe, because I found the correlations of the ancient Bubishi with the 6G hands that are in the Bubishi, the 12 Seiunchin that are in the Bubishi, and many other scrolls and documents, like for Ohansoken. He listed 12 fatal strikes. They correlate perfectly. And this Kata, the Seiunchin, is a mapping of those 12 vital areas. And it is also a way, it depicts the anatomy of the person perfectly. Now the beginning, the opening, is what we're going to be delving into. And I'm going to go into this more in private because, again, I don't want anybody injured with this information, with people experimenting without having the proper training or the proper precautionary measures in place to revive, resuscitate, or know exactly what they're doing or the seriousness of it. Okay, the YouTube is a great tool for education. But at the same time, many people don't really pay attention to the cautions that you need by using the information. So I'm going to take this more private in the Patreon and Platinum subscriptions. So I'll link those below. But let's discuss this a little bit. Now, whoever invented that kata is from China. It's an old kata, and nobody really knows the exact history of it. And it's obscure, and it's reported to be one of the only katas that Taikyo Yata never decided to teach publicly. He kept that for himself. Now, why would an instructor keep a kata, okay? Or why would this kata be so revered that it's been handed down for generations, maybe even millennia? Now, coming out of the ancient China, okay, we can understand that it might have been derived from Shaolin or the practices that influenced Shaolin. And when we go back into the Bubishi and see those 6G hands or the 6 energy hands of Shaolin, and we see them depicted in the Seiunchin, then we can make that correlation. You link that up further with the Seiunchin, as I had mentioned, the 12 attacks, and you're going to start to understand how powerful this kata is. Now, we're going to go into the private because, again, it's dangerous, but let me say that the opening of the kata, okay, from the very first bow through the first couple of movements in the kata, is showing you the full dynamics of the human blood system. All right, and embedded within those actions of the depiction of the blood system itself are the methods of attack on these blood systems. Now, the rest of the kata follows through with a plethora of, or a large amount of techniques that you can apply to attack these blood gates and these 12 Seiunchin. All right, and it's vitally important to look at the kata, study the way the old masters did it on the black and white films. don't look so much at the new modern films, because what has happened over time, the old black and white films, they were fantastic vehicles for watching the masters do their actions in their katas. And for most part, many people viewed them as, okay, those were old guys, those were old times. The katas were performed sloppy. They were performed slow, not powerful, just wishy-washy. Nowadays, everybody's tightened everything up to be a more entertainment type of depiction, or a more entertaining, or more, sportified version. So they put in more accuracy in their actions, more power, more lower stances. All of these little details that people decided to clean up the old masters' katas has actually further hidden the true secrets or the true meanings of the kata. You look at the old films of Kambun Weichi, for example, or the Ishinryu, or the Goju, and you look at these old films, even Funakoshi for the Shotokan, you look at the old films and they look sloppy. But when they were doing their kata, if you looked at the way they did their kata, their hands were more important than the full body actions. All right, and when you saw what the hands were doing, how they were doing it, then you could start to see a little bit more of an idea in their head. All right, by that I mean that you could see them thinking it through, as opposed to just performing to get speed, to get power, to get points on their karate tournament. So these old films are vitally important to maintain and keep pristine, or keep in files so they aren't lost. And then the translations. Now we have to go back to the old writings of the masters. We have to go back to their notes. We have to go back to what they were teaching and what they were developing in their kata and their martial arts. And that's the film that I'm going to put on for you. Again, the full film is with the effects on the people and the attacks on the blood gates, so you can see the full ramification of an attack on these. That's on exclusively on the Platinum service. And you can get the Patreon is going to give you the blood map. Okay, I'm going to explain it fully. I'm going to illustrate it fully. So if you're interested at all in what that kata has, and if you do Goju-ryu, or you do Shito-ryu, or you do any of the like Ishin-ryu, anything that does the Seiunchin kata, this is a must-watch for you, so you can fully understand what you're doing with that kata and why it's so revered and why it's lasted the millennia.